bring me happy. Ooh. Thank you, happy.
Hey, whether discussing or dissecting iconic episodes or films of Star Trek, Lili, Fox-Lim, and I, Bryan Kreutz, promise to provide you behind-the-scenes insight into the production and bring you biopic interviews with different guests every time you open your frequencies to seek Star Trek talk.
Ooh, yes. Enjoy your journey through the final frontier with fans like us for the fans like you. This is A Captain's Log, Broadcast TV's only Star Trek talk show for 4 seasons and counting, emanating from LA to your city across the USA. We're in every time zone now, spanning the country.
Yes! Now, Lili, as a second-generation Star Trek fan myself, I understand the joy of introducing this iconic franchise to the next generation. Back in the day, kids could organically discover Star Trek through syndicated TV series, first-run episodes, and watching reruns of Star Trek, the original series. However, today, kids have an even greater connection, living vicariously through characters on kid-centric Star Trek series like Prodigy.
Prodigy!
Right?
And this is even closer to home generationally, as kids often connect through other kids their own age
Yes.
as the performers themselves, like Rylee Alazraqui, who is in the main cast of the hit Netflix series as the character Rok-Tahk. Rylee brings an emotional high and low to relatability on the human condition, or in her case, the Brikarian condition.
Right. Now, may your warp core always be stable as you trek through the galaxy to dock for maybe a half hour or so of Star Trek power here with the powerfully statured look and feel of a Brikar with their rock-like skin. So, we get to see a grin from within, welcoming Rylee Alazraqui to A Captain's Log. Yeah, now, it's interesting, before we get to this interview with Rylee Alazraqui, who is at the top of the main cast, right? Amazing.
Right.
This is going to be fun.
We do have a piece of news regarding Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes.
Isn't that right?
Absolutely, Lili, we do.
Whoa. We were just a bunch of nobodies on a rock.
Get in, we gotta move.
Until we found each other.
Now,
Look at us. Part of a classified mission.
Okay, our mission's objective, an unstable time rift. Let's begin.
I can't believe we're here.
We all have important roles to play on this ship.
They're hiding something, and we're gonna find out what.
No! We're not here for your cockamamie plans.
I was just doing some routine maintenance.
There is more to this mission than meets the eye.
Old friends, new world, even time travel. And our only hope of these kids.
This timey-wimey stuff hurts my head.
I'm trusting you.
This ain't gonna be easy.
Use your phasers!
They seem unfazed.
We can make it!
Here we go!
Whatever reality throws at us, we got this.
Punches!
That's my crew!
This is bigger than any of us now.
I'm not going anywhere.
None of us are.
This is one heck of a ride!
So exhilarating!
Remarkable.
It still has some kinks. Giggling gives it away.
So, for the first time ever, this is the, 11th Star Trek series. The 11th Star Trek series, if you don't count Star Trek short treks, or very short treks. You know, the animated one too. That this is the first time that any type of platform, streaming, or broadcast TV is going to release all the episodes from one season all at one time. So there's 20 episodes that were half an hour?
Well, I know what we're doing for 10 hours, right?
Right.
If they release, we're gonna be sitting there watching them on the couch.
Binge watching.
Binge watching.
And popcorn eating. It's going to be cool. But yeah, we'll see how this turns out. And as your insider Star Trek that Lili and I give you each week, we will let you know what the outcome is from a fan's perspective and also from a professional perspective, like from Netflix, like what type of the ratings and numbers are going to be for releasing all episodes at one time. Because again, you know, we're all used to seeing just one episode each week since the beginning of Star Trek on NBC back in 1966, before we were born, right? So we'll see how this happens. We'll see how it plays about. So that's your Star Trek Insider News story here on A Captain's Log.
We're warping straight over to our interview with Rylee on the other side of this break.
A Captain's Log returns in a moment.
What did you press?
I didn't press anything! I understand you.
It's some sort of translator.
I know. I'm big, not dumb.
Welcome back to A Captain's Log. Remember, everyone is welcome here. Humans, Vulcans, Klingons, and even those mysterious Q beings who are commonly referred to by Picard as Q the Misanthrope. So grab your tricorder to record and scan, adjust your universal translator, and let's embark on an interview through Star Trek's most kid-friendly adventure yet, Star Trek Prodigy.
Yes! It became apparent that Prodigy isn't just a kid's series. The writing, animation, and that part that's near and dear to my heart is a voiceover character that brings color and depth with deeper themes relating to the character Rok-Tahk, played by such a talented actor in Rylee Alazraqui. Rylee brings it. She brings it all to this role. Rylee, welcome to A Captain's Log.
Thank you for having me. I'm really excited for this.
We're honored to welcome such a bright and shining star from Trek. Rylee Alazraqui, we're both so happy to have you here on broadcast television's only Star Trek talk show. So let me ask you the first question. Rylee, your father, Carlos Alazraqui, is a very accomplished actor, both on screen and voice only. In fact, our co-writer Lex Zorn said his son, Liam Isaac, was very excited to learn that we'd be interviewing you because when he was a toddler, he was a huge fan of Wow Wow Wubbzy, in which your dad starred as Walden. How early did you realize that you wanted to do what your dad does?
So when I was little, I kind of got the opportunity to be placed in, the business because my dad had a voice agent. So they placed me in the voice acting world and I did some auditions, didn't really get them. And I saw him doing jobs. And as I got older and really realized like what I was doing, I just thought it was really cool and that I was like taking after my dad. So I really liked it and I started to do it more and get more jobs. And it was just really fun. I started realizing that I really liked it when I was around like 6 when I got my first role as a character in Doc McStuffins, which was really cool. But yeah.
That's so cool, Rylee. I love this.
Now, Rylee, did your dad give you a lot of help and support when you told him that you wanted to follow him into acting?
Definitely. I would get auditions and I was so new to it. And I just remember he would like help me on how I should deliver my lines or like what type of emotion I should put into the line. He would definitely help me with a lot of that stuff. I remember when I was a bit younger and I got an audition for like a role with an accent. He would definitely help me with like a British accent or something like that. And yeah, he definitely helped me kind of know how to deliver my lines and stuff. He definitely helped me a lot with that.
Nice! It's so important to have support and guidance from your papa.
My dad just like helped me a lot with how to like pronounce things.
Tell us about the audition and how did you get involved with Star Trek Prodigy?
I did Summer Camp Island, just little roles on different TV shows here and there. And then I got the audition for Star Trek Prodigy and it was a new show to me. I've never really been a big like space show. Like I was never really a Star Wars fan or a Star Trek fan when I was little. And I remember just going into the audition like it was like a normal audition. I was like, okay, just gonna do what I normally do. I actually remember at the audition, I saw this girl from a show that I used to watch a lot. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's famous. And I got a picture with her and she was auditioning for the same role as I was. And I don't know, I vividly remember that. And I just remember going in like, okay, it's just like another audition. And then, it came into this big thing. But yeah, it was a very fun audition. I just kind of put it out there and I got it. I was so little. I think I was 7 or 8 at the time when I was auditioning. And I do remember auditioning originally. I saw the girl. I was like, whoa, this is cool. And then I remember getting a call back for it. And I went back in, did it again. I'm not quite sure because I was so young, but I think maybe there was like some more people working on the show in the, the casting room and the voiceover booth. And I was just meeting more people. And I don't know. I think I just kept getting like called in and just seeing more people from the show. And I was like, okay. And then I do remember finding out that I got it from my mom. I think it was after school. She told me that I got the role and I was like, whoa, like I'm going to be on a show. And I was really excited about it. So it kind of clicked for me that like I had a chance of getting it when I saw like more and more people from the show, like producers and stuff in the casting room. So yeah, that was pretty cool.
Okay, so now Rylee, I got a little story here. I first moved to Hollywood, Burbank, 6 years ago and lived off West Orange Grove, right in between Walt Disney Elementary and the Nickelodeon Animation Studio. Can you tell us if you went to this actual Nickelodeon Animation Studio, and what was the preparation like for you to play Rok-Tahk beforehand there at Nick and at home rehearsing?
Yes, I did go to that studio. My original audition was there, I'm pretty sure. And it was really cool because I think it was one of the first times I've ever auditioned in Nickelodeon. I had been to the studio before because of my dad and like premiere parties and that stuff. But it was like my first time like kind of doing like voice stuff in there. And I was like, whoa, I feel really special. It's really cool there. It has like, wow, they built it amazing. Definitely getting into the character of Rok-Tahk and like going into Nickelodeon to record was like kind of an adjustment for me because I wasn't used to all of that yet. And it was like such big people do go there. So it was kind of like, whoa, like, wow. And I don't know, I didn't know what the character looked like before it. They showed me on my very first day of recording.
Wow, really?
Awesome. Yeah, I would just like imagine her in my brain when I was like, before I went in and like picturing what she looked like and kind of making a vision of her in my head. Yeah, I kind of got into the character. I just did it how I usually do voice acting. And I think they really liked that. And, I kind of cutesied it up a little bit when I was like younger. And I just got into the character, and Dan and Kevin helped me a lot, just figure out kind of how to deliver lines and what my character acted like. And then I just kept going from there.
Yes! So glad that you were there in Burbank at Nick. Such a memorable palace of dreams. Love your story, Rylee. Thank you. Now, hopefully you will always remember being there to kick off this amazing role for your voice.
It was crazy. I just remember I thought she was going to have like, I was little, so I thought she was going to be wearing like a dress with like a bow. And then I saw her and it was just something so beautiful. Like she was just like this creature, and like it was so detailed too. Like the rocks, it was all so amazing. And I was like, this is nothing what I imagined, but it's so cool. And I kind of just got to like go into character.
Rok-Tahk is indeed an adorable giant pile of boulders, and your voice, Rylee, is so spot on for preciseness to bring this character to life. Tell us some of your favorite lines or about that semi-deep digressing you have when you're enamored by something or loving something cute that Murph does.
Gosh, so I just really just used my own little 8-year-old girl voice, and they loved it. They kind of adjusted a few things. I just remember sitting in that room with Dan and Kevin, and they helped me so much get that first line where like it was revealed that I had this cute little voice and I was just a little girl. I just remember getting that like line spot on. And then as more sessions came on, we started getting into character, and they helped me they told me when to kind of like get a little raspy in my voice or get like really excited and built up. And it just kind of stuck with me. Like when I would see a line, I would be like, oh, I know how I'm going to do this because, that's Rok-Tahk. And it started just becoming natural for me. And like, I love doing, some of my favorite lines are like when there are really cute animals and I get really excited and I kind of squeal and stuff. That's always so fun because it comes so natural. I'm like, oh, that's how Rok-Tahk would say it,
So many cool one-liners and scenes you've been a part of. We love the behind-the-scenes stories to fill in and color the picture for us.
Yes, we do, for sure. So, Rylee, you're voicing the brilliant Brikar species for the enormous Trek universe, which was originally pulled from old Trek lore in novels and books. Now, this is quite the cool gig for your character, Rok-Tahk. Are you hearing and seeing the hard work that goes into this animation by watching the show? And do you find time to watch the show with your family?
I used to during earlier times when episodes were like airing, like me and my family used to sit on my couch and watch it. And it's so cool because when I'm recording, I'm just using my normal voice, and it's hard because it's voice acting. So it doesn't really come to life yet until you watch it on television and you're like, that's my voice, like on the character. And it sounds like how it should sound, you know? And it's like such a cool feeling, like, wow, I did that. And just like seeing that character on screen and then like hearing my voice match with it, it's just so cool. And it puts it all together so well. And it's so awesome just like watching it. It's amazing how they put it together.
A captain's log returns in a moment.
Shuttle 10% complete. There you are! I don't want to hurt you.
Listen to me. We're all going to die if we don't get out of here.
Why should I listen to you? You never helped us! You're a bad lady!
Shuttle 20% complete. You're angry. I get that. But I was only doing what I was told, just like you're doing now.
Get back here!
Shuttle 30% complete. Complete. Shuttle 50% complete. 60% complete. Blast shield constructed. Shuttle 70% complete. Disable. Artificial. Gravity. Disabling artificial gravity. Shuttle 90% complete. For what it's worth.
Okay, she's back in the brig. Oh my gosh. What is that river of fire?
Trillions of tons of white-hot ionized gas about to explode.
That sounds worse.
What's the call, Captain?
I don't know. We've done everything you've said, and we're still fighting to get out.
This is Lili Fox-Lim, and I welcome you back to A Captain's Log. Hollywood will always be known as the center metropolis of entertainment. Nickelodeon and Netflix find their home base in Los Angeles County as well, and Bryan and I are pleased to continue our interview with Los Angeles native Rylee Alazraqui, who voices the brilliant Brikar Rok-Tahk on Star Trek Prodigy, airing exclusively on Netflix. Let's get back to talking to Rylee. BK, I believe you have the next question for Ry.
Yeah, thanks, Lil. Rylee, your paternal grandparents were Argentine. Do you speak Spanish? And if so, would you be interested in Spanish voice acting? Or if not, are you interested in learning to speak it or perhaps another language?
I don't speak Spanish. My dad speaks Spanish. My grandparents speak Spanish. I don't know. Sometimes learning. I remember when I was little, I tried to learn French on Duolingo, and it just did not go well. I gave up on like the second day. It would be really cool if I did know Spanish to do some Spanish voice acting. So next year, actually, I'm taking a 0 period for Spanish. So we'll see. And I know my dad wants to get me back in Duolingo for some Spanish too. So it would be really cool to do some Spanish voice acting. That would be really fun. That seems cool.
Rock seems to have a passion for science, Rylee, and seems to always get things right as the smart science officer. Do you see yourself fitting into this type of personality in school or in life, for that matter, and bringing these attributes to the character?
To be so honest, I don't. Science is it's not one of my favorite subjects. But I think it's so cool to act like I do know all of that stuff and like a little science genius, and like I kind of feel smart when I'm doing it, but then I go to school and I'm like what does this mean? it's really cool to portray a character who does know all that cool stuff. But no, in real life, I'm not good at science.
Aha, you're very different. And that's a perfect example of why these interviews are so important.
Yes, we really are getting to understand a cool side of your personality, right? Now, one of my favorite moments using your voices so wondrously was when the Universal Translator comes on and Dal realizes your sweet, high-pitched voice is not what he was expecting. You continue the scene with, "I'm big, not dumb," a wondrous tone in your voice, and then he says, "What do we find?" Your tone, Rylee, sets the table, listening to you transition from dismissing bigotry and being big and not dumb, then as an explorer. Now, do you remember doing this scene? It was probably one of your first ones, I believe, or perhaps share some memories from what you remember from this, or maybe a favorite moment or performance in Star Trek Prodigy.
I do remember recording the scene with the translator. I think I said this earlier. Dan and Kevin were sitting next to me, and, you know, they were helping me deliver it. And so it was like this big reveal for everybody. And I remember doing like take after take. And I was so little. I was like, when are we going to get it? But they just wanted to make it so perfect and like such a big surprise. And they did a great job. Yeah, that is one of the most vivid memories I have, just sitting there. And they were just helping me get it so it's like spot on, you know? And yeah, that was just one of my favorite moments. It was my first time, you know, it was the big reveal. So yeah, it was really cool. That is definitely a really big memory for me. And they got it so perfectly in the scene, in the moment. It was really awesome.
You've also done a few on-screen roles. How does on-screen acting differ from voice acting for you, Rylee?
Both are such amazing, incredible experiences and opportunities. On-camera acting, I feel like it is just, I don't know, the roles that I've done, I've met so many more people, because with voice acting, sometimes it's hard to get in the studio with your castmates. And for on-camera acting, you're kind of like actually doing the scene, like you're in it, which I find is so cool. When I worked on Villains of Valley View, I met so many great people. It was just an awesome experience, and I kind of like felt like I was really like doing it, like the scenes. Voice acting is also so great because, you know, you get to see yourself. Like I was saying, like when you watch it, you're like, wow, that's my voice. And it's crazy how they like put it into the TV show, and you're like, wow, like this sounds great. But yeah, they're definitely different, and I both am incredibly grateful for the opportunity that I get to do them. Both just super fun and definitely a nice experience.
Now, do you believe that you'll want to continue acting into your adulthood?
I'm just going to see where it takes me. I'm not sure that I want to do it when I'm older, but I'm willing to give it a shot. I don't know. I'm just going to kind of play it out, see it where it goes, see, you know, what happens and the opportunities I get. And, you know, just kind of see how I like it when I'm older. And yeah, pretty much just decide when I get older. But for right now, I really like it.
Aha! Yes, good answer. You have a smart mind and are cool, calm, and collected, right? No matter what you decide to be as an adult, you'll always have the support of your mom and dad, and I'm sure many friends to lean on.
Yes, for sure. So Rylee, Rok-Tahk of course wants to enter into Starfleet, just like Dal, Gwyn, Jankum, and Zero. And the USS Protostar is gone in Supernova, the 2-part season finale, but Rok-Tahk and the crew made it to Earth to see Starfleet.
Finally.
As an actor, when you read this, were you at first surprised? And how would you approach the season 1 finale, being the 20th episode into the season, and seeing the ship is gone and you're at your destination goal there at Starfleet?
I remember getting the script and sitting on my bed with my mom. And normally she would, before I went in to record, she would read the script to me and kind of like give me an idea on what was happening. So I wasn't completely like, what's happening? So I just remember sitting on my bed with my mom, and she read it, and I was like, wow, like we got to Starfleet, like this is crazy. And then going in to record it, I'm not sure if I went in or if it was in my booth, but I just do remember like doing it. And we were all so excited, like getting the lines right in the moment. And if I did go in, they probably they would show like the animations and do like those clicks, so I knew when to say it. And I feel like they showed me, and it was just really cool. It was all such a crazy experience. Like we finally achieved it, and I got to voice act it. It was all just really cool. And I remember, reading it with my mom, and I was like, wow, we made it to Starfleet. This is cool.
Rylee, I understand you play volleyball and you have a birthday coming up. What are some goals for you the next few years in sports and school that you may want to share with us?
Definitely want to have good grades, academics, education, all that good stuff. I'm going to high school in 2 years. I definitely want to graduate 8th grade, go to like my promotion and all that stuff. My goals are to, I want to get on a certain club team for volleyball. I'm on a team right now, but there's a very good team that plays sort of where I live, and I really want to get onto that team for sports. I maybe want to play in college, possibly volleyball. Definitely in high school, I'm going to play on the high school volleyball team. My goals are to just, have good friends, stay healthy, and just like cherish life and like be really grateful for all the opportunities I do have and the things in my life that I already have, I want to continue volleyball. I used to do softball. It was fun, but I didn't have the best coaches. So volleyball has definitely been really fun for me and such an experience, and just life in general. Want to have good grades and a good life, Yeah, sometimes you'll go through some rough coaches, and it's an experience. Like, it's a learning experience. You got to deal with it, and it makes you stronger for like other coaches that you will have and stuff. But I so far have had some pretty great coaches with, basketball, softball, all that good stuff.
Rylee, this has been such an exciting half hour. You are truly a gifted young talent. Thank you for being with Bryan and I here on A Captain's Log.
Thank you so much for having me. This was so fun. I love the questions. It was really fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, indeed. We are so happy you were able to have Rylee Alazraqui show her talents and her charisma at such a young age. Pretty amazing,
really
right?
Amazing.
Now, the Star Trek Prodigy's show ending season 1 and leaving Paramount Plus left fans with a little bit of mix of emotions, but Rok-Tahk's legacy lives on and the Star Trek universe continues to explore new frontiers on Netflix.
Yes, and Star Trek Prodigy received an Emmy nomination for Outstanding Animated Series at the Children and Family Emmy Awards in season 1, showcasing the show's evolution and the enjoyment that it brings to viewers like us. BK and I are out.
Absolutely, so we'll see you next time. Bye for now.
Manifested yourself into a human I can depend on to breathe.